Live from Crawford Studios.
It's CC and NJ Guy.
Woohoo!
So what's going on, gentlemen?
Everything's
Sorry
good,
about
bro.
that. I've
Just trying to be warm, man, because it's crazy cold out.
Yeah, we're
what's the word? It's brick outside.
Ooh, I don't.
I
think
still
it's like
say
brick.
it's
I
cold
think
as
it's still,
shit.
Yeah, I
I
think it's
always
still
say that.
brick. Yeah, cold as a
brick
witch's
outside.
tit.
What's
You know
that?
that? So cold you could cut ice, cut glass with these nibbles.
Wow.
whoa.
It's excited to be here.
What are we talking about this evening?
You always hear through history all these like eccentric artists. You hear weird stuff about them, and so we all picked like an artist that we want to talk about
Okay.
that
Yep,
are
fair enough.
eccentric.
Yep.
The little
Well,
talking
eccentric.
about
I know.
the-
Well, mine isn't
But-
so much eccentric. Mine was just, I
Right.
was just a fan of this one.
or yeah,
Fair enough. But you can still be a fan of the
or
other
kind of
ones, too,
about
because
their
they're
yeah,
history
eccentric.
too.
definitely.
So
Huh?
yeah, about their history too, not
But
just
yeah,
about
I think
being
the
eccentric.
reason I was thinking about is because of the conversation we had with Zoe when she was
Yeah.
on last time. We were talking about Picasso and how he saw himself. Remember?
The Minotaur.
We were talking about that, and I was like, "Oh, why don't we just have a conversation on different artists?" Kind of gave me the idea, so I thought that'd be good. So we start with Picasso, shall we?
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right.
All right,
Do you
let's go.
get her done?
Picasso, born in 1881,
All right.
Malaga, Spain, Malaga.
Uh-huh.
Died in 1973. Lived to 91, rare for artists of his era. One of the most influential artists of the 20th century. Worked in painting, sculpture, ceramic, printmaking, stage design, co-founder of Cubanism, which changed art forever. Created an estimated 50,000 plus works, insane outputs. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but now that just the paintings, or was that also the?
Well, I guess with everything that we just
Well,
mentioned.
well, you know what's a funny thing that he used to do, Picasso? He he was so famous and his ego was so inflated. When he would like pay for like bills, he would draw people a sketch and give it to them. Be like cheapskate.
dude. Well, no,
And-
not anymore.
And you know what? Yeah, and you know what?
Can you imagine having one of those guys?
yes.
John Lovitz on SNL did a skit with him. He goes, "I'm Picasso," and he's like, and he would pay for shit, and he would just
forgot
write
about
sketches
that.
and give them the view.
That's
Hey, here's
right.
a sketch of Picasso.
I forgot about that one, man.
Yeah.
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 that.
That shit was funny. That was a good one. But then that's super ego, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's just
Well, he did so much.
the fingers touching. Yeah, the guy like this. He's the Sistine Chapel, who was the at the church.
Right.
The fingers touching
Right.
the angels and whatnot. God.
Wow. Just to paint that, to have the talent. to
Yeah.
do
Well, they
that.
said that's how he started to go blind. Him and the other painters that were there, because they were on their back painting, and the paint was falling into their eyes
Faces.
and on their faces and
Oh.
whatnot. And that's why toward the end of his
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah,
I didn't even know he was going blind, honestly.
yeah,
Until you said that now.
yeah, would be going blind, and then we said
Didn't have goggles then.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have thought of it because there were so many geniuses back
Yeah,
then.
no, and
No one was
'cause it
worried
ruins-
about protecting their eyes. I
Yeah,
guess.
but
Right.
because you see, but it ruins their creativity
No,
because they
I
can't
don't
see
think so.
because of the glasses.
I
No,
would've
them in
just-
their own head. Not
I
I
would've-
would so because of their ego. The ego
all
would get
day.
I
away.
would have invented something like glass with a strap on it, like a flat piece
yeah,
of glass.
like
so,
the mask.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but think of how many times they probably would have like, no, it's annoying. It's
well, their
cumbersome.
breath would probably.
Yeah, and then fog it all up
Fog
and
it,
whatnot, and then but then that's what they would probably make it shorter to make it the glasses, like goggles and such.
Yeah.
But again, it's like anything else. We think of all the other artists that have to be in a certain state of mind, we'll call it,
Yeah.
when they're making music, when they're acting,
Right.
when they're painting, even athletes. Everything is they have to keep that same thing going because like they feel like it's part of the how they win.
Yeah.
It's like breaking that curse. It's that routine that they have to stay doing all the time.
Right.
Picasso, a painter, most artists, they have that something.
50,000 works. Is that what they
50,000
said?
works. Now that's what I'm saying. 50,000 works. Are we going to say like part of his sketches? Is it the actual?
That would be
painting?
everything.
Yeah. See,
Everything.
That's a
because
busy dude.
it doesn't say so many watch. So
Right,
I'm
right,
assuming it's
okay.
everything total.
yeah, that's
Right.
insane.
Yeah.
And his stuff is still that like I guess we'll say valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. 50,000.
Yeah. They said he reinvented himself constantly.
Yeah. Okay.
He never stayed in one style too long.
That's serious.
And treated art like an experimentation, not tradition, broke perspective, showed multiple viewpoints at once, didn't paint what things look like, painted what they felt like. And also, he was like dating women younger than him. So
But that was the thing of the times, though, too, bro. Older
Yeah.
man, more established, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna marry you off
Oh,
for
I'm not
two
saying it was a
goats.
bad thing.
Yeah.
We talked about that too when Zoe was on. But how old was he again?
Oh, he was like twice her age. Was he in like his 50s and she was in like her 20s
Like
or like
20s or
late
something like
teens
that,
or
right?
like
Yeah, you
that? Yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's songs about stuff like that, bro. You know what I mean? About just
Yeah.
living like that. But that's a
Yeah.
different episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a different episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I mean, like, all right. So does it say there what was one of his other? Yeah, what was his
Well,
famous?
hang on.
Mhm.
Obsessive worker, painted daily, compulsively. Didn't believe in inspiration. Saw women as muses, not equals. Openly admitted women fueled his creativity, love, and control.
See,
See, so it did have some kind of effect, even though he didn't treat him well.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
yeah, he was a horn dog.
Yeah, creative one.
Yeah, he had skills. That's a gift. You know. Listen, there's. I think that.
I don't have a problem with it. For the time, it's what it
Yeah,
is.
and that's just exactly it is. It was what it was, but and he did. He had skills and whatever it was. Like, think about it. Some people, what they've done in history, doing some kind of drugs to turn around and bring that creativity out, whether it
Yeah.
was making music or painting. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's what they did. They would get high and
He
colors.
was making love to a young woman.
Yeah. But he used them as in his paintings. Daniel
Did.
used her so that then that's when he drew her, he made her extra whatever and the background vibrant and
Yeah.
like doing all those
Yeah.
things that caught
He
your
did.
eye when you saw it up. Like, oh, how does that make you feel? Randy,
So I said it has many lovers, though.
Do I make you Randy?
We make you run.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like a baby holding an apple.
Yeah, yeah. All right, yes.
It's like a tripod.
uh, he had many lovers, dated very young women. Some relations began when women were in their late teens, emotionally abusive, manipulative, control, psychologically damaged to partners. Several women have suffered breakdowns, two attempted or committed suicide. Often cruel, sad, disturbing things about women. Oh wow, he was
No shit.
He was a piece of work.
Wow.
Being
Bro.
machines for suffering.
Can you separate the art from the artist? I don't know.
Well, we
Can
do
you?
it all the time, don't we?
Well,
Yeah.
hey, but again,
Yes,
so
we do.
we
How?
do it now.
How do we do it? And what genre?
Music.
Yep.
We're doing it
Music.
right now in music.
How many people can you think in music that were super creative but wound up turning out to be horrible human beings?
Yeah, there you go. Again, but it's because of that mental. You know what I mean? They people like, I mean, I've heard that. You look at people that have I'm gonna say disabilities. And, in a sense of like they don't have their social cues. You know what I mean? But they're cool people, but their social cues are off. So
Yeah.
that then my point is that here you have an artist, a painter, and he was a great painter,
But he was
but
a piece of shit. To
but he
women.
was a piece of shit because he didn't think about how he was treating these people
He
or
only
these
cared
women.
about himself.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Self-centered, narcissist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
That's where his mental was.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's
Just
what
to
it
be a
is. It's
douche.
totally what it is. Jersey guy over here.
Hey guys, so
Little
I
Jersey
wanted to talk
guy.
about Mr. Vincent
Van
Van Gogh.
There we go. Here we go.
Here we go. So a lot of people, when they talk about Vincent Van Gogh, they the first thing always comes up, oh yeah, he cut off his ear,
Right.
or he was a crazy artist, or he died poor, but he was famous later, right? But he wasn't crazy, right? So he was obsessive. He made 900 works in 10 years.
What?
So yeah, and he typically painted like the same thing a lot. Like he painted sunflowers, fields, his bedroom. He was just like he would paint like the same thing but
Right.
several times, right?
No shit. But
It
in
would always be
different thing.
different.
Yeah.
Somehow, some
Yeah.
little way, there would be differences in it, which
Right,
would be
right.
really cool, of course, if you can point them out.
Yeah.
So he would paint the same things over and over and over, sometimes a couple times a day. So this was hyper focus. He was very hyper focused on what he was doing. He did use color as an emotion. When if you see some of his works have like a lot of yellow in them, that was like for more intensity.
Yeah.
And then the blue ones, like the famous like Starry Night,
Mm.
that was more like loneliness.
Painting out of emotion, right?
Yeah.
Painting out of whatever they're
Mhm.
feeling, which is incredible to even able to articulate that and put it up, like this is what I'm feeling. This is what I see. This is how it
Right.
looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what, and you're like,
And that was good,
Wow.
Lou. I felt that one right there when you said that. I was like, yeah, to be able to see that. Because all right, so you and I are super into music. Tom, well, into like the freestyle and stuff.
Right, all that.
Tom's in his, what he listens to. And
Many
it,
genre.
it's funny how we feel when we listen to that music. You know
Right.
what I mean? It usually pulls us out of whatever little funk that we might be in, that little like, and we start hearing, we're like, you know, come into my arms, baby. I know I can feel you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
that's, so, I could almost, now I'm not artistic as such, I just think I'm a funny guy, but it's crazy how how much more these artists feel what they're doing, how they feel their passion. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
Right. You can
You know?
interpret what it is
Yeah,
right.
like you could
Uh,
see their painting and like, oh, I understand
Right.
those colors, blah, 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 blah. That's more of like, he was feeling sad. He was in his moment. So that makes sense. But then he did a whole bunch of other things though, right? Because he didn't just
What did
do
they say?
regular
What was it? Over 900? Is that what you
Yeah,
said? Tom?
910 years.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So then still, so now he didn't just do because he was an inventor too, no?
And what was his time,
No,
Tom?
I don't think it
What
was.
was his era?
He was born 1853 and died in 1890.
Okay.
Not very. He didn't
Not
live-
long.
Yeah,
No.
he didn't live very long.
Nope.
No.
I was short.
Because of all the lead paint,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Is that what happened?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of issues. I mean, he did have a drinking problem. He had issues with malnutrition.
Mutilation.
Everybody always brings up the ear incident, but a lot of that shit was going on in his life, and it kind of just, it's a downward spiral. That's what happens in some people.
Well, and I'm
unfortunately.
wondering if
Yeah.
the paint, because like I said, so everything that we hear about, the painting and stuff like that, said painting,
lead
stuff,
possibly.
the lead could have messed him up. Food and stuff, it wasn't the same way because he was so. I mean, according to what we've read, he's so out there, with a lot of his stuff. Maybe just malnutrition and stuff is what
Right.
made him,
Who
lose
knows?
his mind a little
Could be a
bit, or he
combination
just,
of things, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that could have been
Who
a
knows
whole
for that time?
gang
Yeah.
of shit.
And who knows what his upbringing was
Hmm?
going on? I mean, what he experienced in life. We carry
Crazy.
shit with us all the time,
Dude, it's insane.
how good and bad. We
Yeah.
go through it, and it's a freaking balancing act.
Yeah.
So some people have a lot more than others. I guess he did.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But his painting definitely for sure was great to look at because it's just like you said, to kind
Yeah.
of see what he was doing or what he was thinking
Yeah.
at that time.
And a lot of his nature paintings, a lot of people when people look at nature, most people say, oh, it's calming.
Mhm.
But for him, and when you look at his paintings,
Yeah.
nature is very chaotic and angry and moving. And nature for him was for some reason just if you base it on his artwork,
Right.
for some reason he just didn't see it as calming. So like maybe he's overstimulating.
Right. Have you ever gone to the museum and seen his stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did it make you feel when you were there?
Yeah, it's really like you're like,
You in it?
yeah.
Yeah. You too? Well,
yeah,
I'm not saying for his,
I
but
almost got my
You
ass
feel-
kicked in the museum because
See,
Well,
bro.
wait,
You know
time
what?
out. We're gonna hear this story.
Yeah.
No.
Sidebar.
You can't just mention that now without
I
our
was almost
sidebar
physically removed from the museum.
time. Okay,
Bro.
so what
Because-
did you do?
I walked over to the picture and was just kind of looking at it.
Right?
Like I was looking at it. And I got too close.
Oh, okay.
And muscle came out from fucking everywhere. I was like, whoa, I'm sorry, man. I did not touch it. I was totally
Yeah.
my bad.
That's a good one. I think you're going to say that, you stood in front of it and somebody says, hey, get out of the way, sir.
No,
You're like, "Hey, yo,
no. It
fuck
was
you."
something because I got too close to the art.
Yeah.
The security
Whatever,
came out
bro.
immediately, man. No, yeah. That was,
No, I'm saying, whatever. We thought it was going to be a good story. Some
So
old
that
lady's
was
like,
a good story.
"Get outta
Freaking
here."
shit out of me because I was never in a museum before. And
Oh, okay.
so for me, it was the first. Nobody told me the etiquette of what I'm supposed to do and
Right.
not supposed to do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I was just,
So while you were looking at that and these muscles came out of nowhere.
I realized
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be doing that.
No, I'm saying. So how did it make you feel, Lou?
A
When you saw
little
that
nervous.
now, when you see that painting now,
Long distance.
Oh my
It's
god!
so you don't have those feelings
So
anymore.
that was the experience I had. So I don't
That's
want to mess
great.
up Tom.
That's a good one,
So,
though. I like
all
that.
right, that's
I
fun.
like it. That's a good one.
That's fun. His paintings, they did portray that.
What was the reason he did the ear, though? I mean, it's important to mention it because he is famous for that and
Yeah.
most famous for that, as well as his paintings, of course.
Yeah.
I think he sent it to somebody, didn't he?
I
He
heard.
he, like, lost his mind. He was going through a
Yeah.
lot of
I
shit
thought
in
he
his
was
life.
trying to paint his ear. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was looking at it
Oh.
to copy it more like the
No, I thought he was
realism.
sending it to somebody
Yeah.
because he was having a woman or something or a lover or something. What's the deal? What did they
Alright,
say?
what do you want?
So what had happened was, yeah,
So, he cut off his left ear and wrapped it in paper and gave it to a woman at a brothel. This is
Yes, all
Rachel.
right.
her name was Rachel. Yeah, I
Wow.
hear that.
Can you
Just saying.
imagine doing that though? You got to be
No,
in a
dude.
totally. But think of this state of mind. Here's a guy who's got all this talent.
Yeah,
But at the same time, he's got all this shit going on in his life. He's depressed. Whatever is going on, for him to even think of having to cut his ear off.
Yeah.
It's
yep. And even think about it, bro, because now you're saying that he gave it to a chick at the brothel. You
right.
know,
Getting for that
STDs.
ear,
Well,
man.
because I'm saying STDs were running rampant.
Okay,
So
what
that
does that
then,
have to
so
do with
there's
him?
some STDs that will mess with your brain.
Oh, I see
you
what
know,
you. So if he got syphilis,
Right.
or
So he
anything
had
like that,
whatever
right.
that then,
Of
that
course,
could
'cause
have
they
been
didn't use birth control or any
right.
type of
None of that.
protection back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may have had it, but I
Yeah.
don't think it was as abundant as
Yeah.
it is
No,
now.
I'm sure. No.
And he died when he was 37 years
You
old.
see,
Holy
bro?
shit!
Young.
You see?
Really young.
So I'm just saying,
You got
dude.
a
You
lot
know
of
what's
stress,
funny?
man.
When I was a kid, I always pictured him as an old person. I don't know why. The name Van Gogh, it just sounds
Right.
old. Like Van Gogh.
Great
Yeah.
name though.
Yeah.
I picture someone 37.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Just like somebody like,
I
had
Oh,
pictured
that's
like an
weird.
old, especially the ear part.
Mhm.
I was pictured like an old man doing that.
Right.
Like
I did too.
senile old man.
Yeah. Not like a
You know.
30-year-old guy
Yeah.
doing that shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, nah, man, what the
Yeah.
hell are you thinking? Right? Yeah. Did you hear me talking to you now? Nope. Cut that shit off and give us to some
Yeah, no.
chick. Later for that,
I'm
man.
good.
That's insane. That's bananas.
I mean,
So what are his paintings worth now? They got to be worth
Millions, bro.
right? Like
Yeah.
Priceless.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
Well, between the both of them, what's his name?
Either
You
one
just
of
said.
them.
Yeah.
You would think?
They're
I don't know.
paintings at
Do you
millions.
think Picasso would be more, or we're in the same ballpark? Do you think?
In the same ballpark. But I also believe, too, I'm a firm
You think
believer.
Van Gogh wouldn't beat out only because of who Van Gogh was at the time and how he painted? Well, maybe two different painters, but yeah, I would think maybe you might be right.
I'm almost saying because one man's trash is another man's, treasure. You know what I mean? So people are going to pay for what it is.
That's true.
We like you like DC. I'm into Marvel.
Right.
We're all into Star Wars and Star Trek. We would turn around and pay $200 for official Captain Kirk, action figure.
Yeah,
But then somebody else is like, yeah, I wouldn't give you $5 for that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on who feels whatever.
The eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, because like we're saying, so you guys had picked yours. My guy was Jackson Pollock, and
Okay.
he's an abstract painter. When I went to the museum and I saw his stuff up, I was like, I was stuck. Like I just don't know what it was. And it's the guy whose paintings like you see them and it's just like looks like splatter, like kind of like paint splatter stuff all over. And for me, that spoke. I felt more than what the Van Gogh or Da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't this. I just sat there and just stared at him.
Really?
But that was, just me. And he wasn't like as eccentric as like your guys, I guess,
Well, that's not to say that. You don't know.
well, he was an alcoholic.
Okay. Well, he did have
You see what I'm
some
saying?
issues.
Yeah. So, and he died at 44. He was 44
Really?
years old. He was drunk in the car and crashed the car. Not with anybody else, just the car crashed and he died. You know what I mean? So again, that goes back to what I'm saying, what I said earlier. They all have their vices,
Right.
whether it's some kind of drug or alcohol, this is
Right.
just, where they were. 44 years old, bro. And what it says, famous for developing the drip technique. That was his thing. So 1947 and 1950, that was his thing. By pouring paint onto large floor-laid
Yeah.
canvases.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Does he have the one where the paint cans would swing as well? Did he do that too?
I don't know if he did
'Cause
it.
I
It doesn't
seen-
say that if he did
I have
it.
seen people.
I've
do
seen
that.
that
Yeah.
do that too. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool the way they do that. The art comes out really nice. The colors are really awesome.
Yeah, I said I have a T-shirt of it. So if anybody's
Yeah.
watched the podcast before, it's a black T-shirt and it's the beige canvas with
Okay.
black and white paint on it. Like I said, the
So
splashes, whatnot.
what's his art? What's his art going for?
So when I looked before, his heart, bro, was going for millions.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them. Matter of fact, there's a TV show, the movie with Ben Affleck, and that he's the assassin, he's a killer. I can't remember the name of the movie right now.
Oh.
The accountant, yes.
Okay.
So in the movie The Accountant, he gives this girl that he meets in the movie an original Pollock. and that's the one that, so if
Oh.
anybody's seen it,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's the picture that he gives to her, and she had, and it was the when she got the painting, when she opened up the package, she was looking at it and she started to kind of chuckle because it was the dogs playing poker or something like that. And then when she's looking at it and she peels back, now it's that she sees that it's the original Pollock that he had hanging on his ceiling because he would lay down and look at it. It was hanging in the
Oh.
ceiling of
Oh,
his
okay.
trailer. Yeah. I'm like, that's the shit. Cause that's my t-shirt. I
Nice.
was like, that's official. So, so it said personal struggles throughout his life, Pollock battled alcoholism and depression, which often led to volatile behavior. So with that, that's probably why he painted the way he did. Cause, drinking or whatever in that moment, he's just like throwing the paint
Yeah.
around and
Right.
boom, 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 and emotion all day long. And like I said, I didn't know this when I saw his artwork at the museum. So then now here it is. I'm like, damn, yo, I'm feeling this. This is really cool. Like I'm digging it. And now finding out, like I said, that he was the alcoholic
Touch me,
and
man.
depressed and shit. I'm like, damn, now I really understand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, it's one of those, man. And, and it's a lot of his
Right.
paintings, the different colors that he used, it was different color canvases, with the different color paints, I said black and white was one of them.
Right.
The one I have, the t-shirt on is beige. There was another one that it was a red background. Dude, it was insane. Like just all of them. And it's just, for me,
Very
I was
cool.
just stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's good when you find something that you connect with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
And it's nice. You you identify with something,
Yeah.
with that particular piece of art or music or whatever it is.
Hmm.
How many times you hear artists say about songs that they made that they wrote it for one thing, but heard people use it or interpret it differently for the things that were going on in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the song was able to reach out to everybody in their own different way, the way they listen to it, how they hear it.
But
I
when you
mean,
see, I mean, going by what you just said now, and it's the truth, they say, when the artists are in the studio, a lot of the times it's like, feel that song. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can sing the song. It's like, you know, Uptown Girl, you've been living in an uptown. It's like, nah, dude, feel that. Think about when you were, looking at that girl, like, but you just felt like she was out of your reach, Uptown. Now you just get that, boom, you get that feeling, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
get
Right.
that love. Mary J. Blige, basically all of her music was, her life, how she was
Yeah.
living and how people treated her and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just all those things that you just, they feel it. And then
Yeah.
you feel it because that's how we made the mixtapes back in the 80s. You know what I mean?
The mix.
That's how you made those mixtapes,
Yeah.
bro. Or just, you just put your little
Listen to the
compilation.
radio.
Yeah, listen, you
Get
wait for that
ready,
song,
and-
click, yeah, and then you stop it or whatever, And
My God.
yeah, it's wild. Like I said earlier, bro. It's just crazy
gets-
how things get to you, how you feel.
The
Yeah.
emotion comes over. Like there are
Yeah.
certain songs I can hear, and till this day, it will still get me teary eyed.
Yeah.
When I hear it. So
Yeah.
my thing is, I think about artists who are there songs that they do, and there's got to be that when they sing them, that they have to somehow control themselves, be disciplined in the sense where they don't get emotional singing it. You know what I'm saying? In other words, they don't feel, because sometimes you could feel that emotion if you're singing something, overcome you, and you can get emotional. I wonder how artists go about doing that without that song affecting them like that.
I'm trying to think of artists that I've seen actually tear up, while singing a song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they didn't fully let it go.
Right. So I think that that's just more of the control at that moment.
Right.
Like they can control
Yeah.
their,
Yeah.
they
Right.
can control themselves just for that. They'll still cry, like, they'll still tear up
Right,
or
right.
whatever, but they won't crack,
That's what I'm talking
Yeah. Because there are people that even sing the,
Because when you hear a certain song, you're like,
yeah. Think about people that tear up when they hear the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's that
Really?
depending on who's singing it, that they'll, that you'll get that feeling. You know what I mean? Mariah Carey, she'll hit some notes and you're like,
to this day, it's still Whitney
Oh,
Houston.
yeah.
The
Whitney
best.
Houston, yeah.
She did the
Yeah.
best one.
Who, like, you got to get chills. Oh, you mean for the national anthem?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But look at when she sings, what's the Bodyguard? And yeah. Now she turned around and when
That was
she
a Dolly
hits
Parton
that,
song, wasn't it?
who does it? Yeah, but I'm saying when Dolly Parton sings it,
So it
you
was a
don't
different-
get that. Yeah, it was a whole different sound.
Yeah.
Different
She
tune.
put her her style on.
Right.
Style
Yeah.
on it.
But
Dolly
when-
Parton loved it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when
yeah.
Whitney Houston did it, I don't know anybody who hasn't. That's like, man, I feel that. Whether you get the chills or whatever.
There
you
are
know what I
certain
mean?
songs that'll do that to you. Yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
You just like you feel that. You feel, and like I said, so now us talking about the artist, you know what I mean? That's Like, I would love to have a Pollock hanging in my fucking living room, dude. Oh my
I
God.
I would like to have a Van Gogh,
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
but
Matter of
that's
fact,
never gonna happen.
yeah. Well, no, you can't say, you never know. Because like I said, for me with the Pollock,
I'll just get the print and I'll put it up on my wall.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all. It's the same thing,
I already have the Schnauzer version, so
that's what I'm saying. There's a way to get it. There's a way to have the image. Of course, an
it's right
original.
here.
Yes, there it is. That's the one.
Nice.
Worth millions. Yes. You just, it's always something. And I think it's pretty, groovy. I appreciate the artists, you know what I mean? And they're, I feel bad that they felt depressed.
It just goes to show you that just because they're artists doesn't make them
Superhuman.
right.
Yeah.
They got shit going on in their lives, or they've had shit baggage already before
Right.
they got famous. It's like everything else. They're like everybody else, only they're just making more money and having live a lot better than we.
Exactamundo.
You know,
Exactamundo.
But still, when you think about it, even it doesn't do anything. It may help for a little while in the long run. It makes you comfortable and everything, right? But think about it. How many times do they have? Some people had to go into rehabs and do that
Mhm.
shit. Well, but no big deal. You do what you got to do, and they get through it.
Yep.
It shows you that nobody is above. Everybody's humans.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much money and everything you make.
Nope. And that's just three, artists that we just
talked
picked
about.
off the bat.
Yeah, but
so
then
imagine.
we're talking about the music and stuff we grew up with too.
Well, no,
right?
I'm saying like that's just three artists that we had that we were talking about. There are so many great painters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That it's like, whoa, you almost think about how many of them were feeling in those ways, the depression. Which one of them was actually feeling great and loved to paint, and that's all they wanted to do. They only
Right.
wanted to paint. Like they didn't have any issues. They didn't.
You didn't have to worry about iPads and phones
Right,
and all that shit
yeah,
and everybody calling them.
right.
They were too focused in on what they wanted to get
Mhm.
done.
Because see, like even too, some people call graffiti writing that is just graffiti.
No, I think it's art.
It's an
man.
art. Art.
Absolute art.
It's an art form.
We grew up in the time of when it started.
I don't know. Sometimes there's like weird tags. They're just.
Oh
Not
yeah,
even
yeah,
tags, I'm
no,
talking about
yeah,
more of the
yeah,
pieces and
yeah.
stuff.
We're talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
pieces,
Yeah.
trains. You had the top to bottoms. That was the
Yeah.
whole top of the
Yeah.
train to the bottom
Some
of
of
the
the
train.
tags
You
are
know?
bullshit, but as far as the styles and everything, like
Right,
that,
yeah.
it's the pieces that I like.
Right, yeah. When you had
No.
those nifty pieces, when they're using
Yeah.
some, other cartoon characters, or they're doing a
Sometimes
memorial.
those people end up getting hired to do like.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they are.
awesome.
Now
Yeah.
they are. And a lot of those guys, a lot
To
of
do
them, those
storefronts and
people,
things
those
like
kids.
that, yeah.
Yep, they're doing all kind of good shit. There's a couple of them in the city, in New York City.
But what about that famous one of Biggie?
That's in
Mural.
Brooklyn. And that was just some dude that was, he said, boom, boom, threw it up there. There's one of
Right.
Tupac in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love when
Um,
they do that stuff.
Yep. They have another one. There's one of Michael Jackson. There's a whole bunch. There's all over the place. And there was a hot second in New York City, right? For those who didn't know, that they were thinking about letting artists come and do the trains. And I'm pretty sure they did it for a while.
Okay.
Back in
and
the day, you mean?
yeah, I'm talking like
believe it.
late 80s into the 90s.
Well, they
that
figured
they
at
were
least
letting
they
them do
made them
that.
look good. They wouldn't.
Yeah, right. They said, we'll let you guys do this and put them up, but there wasn't enough of the nice ones that the people that came up because they thought they were going to probably get arrested,
Right, because they were like,
because
they want
came
us
up.
to come there and they're
Yeah,
going to
they're
bag
gonna
us.
bag us, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there was a time that they were looking to do that. Different things through of New York City,
Right.
and have them on the train. I know they've had a couple of painted trains that had gone through, but it wasn't that nifty graffiti of the 70s, like you're looking and you're like, oh, look at that. Like I said, I think I told you guys I had graffiti in my wall in Brooklyn where I lived. It was this guy had come in. He was from Baruch Projects in Lower East Side
Yeah.
in Manhattan. And it was a friend of a friend. And he came over to the house, and I think we paid him. My mom gave it to me for let me do it for one of my birthday presents, I think is what it was. And yeah, man, it was great. So there was the spray paint. We were in the room. It was a small ass room, and we had to have the windows open. It
Oh yeah, I was gonna
wintertime.
say, man.
Yeah,
it must
dude.
have stunk.
We had the bedroom door closed and had the fan blowing out in the
Pulling the air
window
out.
to try to pull the air out, just having that little vent drafting. And it was like about maybe 15 of us in the house, and we're in the room, and I had moved all the stuff
Oh, my
over.
God.
You see
And
a
my
lot of
mom comes in and she's like, what the hell's going on? And then I was like, oh, he came to do the wall. And she was like, and she, cursing that little quick fast in Spanish because we were such a mess.
You see
Yeah.
a lot of those guys sometimes wear respirators. when they're
Yeah,
on a
later
face.
on they started to wear
Yeah, they're like-
respirators.
it's
Yeah,
probably the smarter idea.
yeah, oh, yeah,
It's like-
man.
It's like
Yeah.
going to see
Cool.
the artists, like we're talking artists
Yeah.
that die from.
Right, yeah, that they should have had all
Yeah.
that protection and shit.
Right.
It's wild. It's crazy. And I don't know. I enjoy it. I like
I always
artwork.
like riding on the train and knowing where the pieces were to find. My friend Anthony was good at that.
Uh-huh.
So if we were on the train, he would always know where these secret pieces were and
Yeah.
stuff. For like if we were taking certain lines, things like that,
Hmm.
he would point them out.
Yeah. And they were daredevils, bro. They
Oh
were
yeah,
daredevils.
There's ones that
Yeah.
you were like, how the
How
hell?
the hell did they
did
get
they do
there?
that? Right.
Yeah.
I know some
Yeah.
of them have to do them upside down
Yes.
because when
So
they
that
hang
too.
from bridges and shit like that.
Put
Yeah.
it in minds.
Yeah. All day out of their freaking minds,
To do
bro.
They have
that.
to have someone they trust to hold their legs
Yeah.
sometimes and
No.
shit.
No.
fuck
Like,
Like,
listen.
rope or tie a
Yeah.
rope to their leg or some
Yeah,
shit.
but shit, man. Still.
But some of the pieces they do are really amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Amazing.
the talent alone, just to see that and being
Mhm.
able to put it up that way,
Yup.
and use a spray can paint and able to make serious tight lines that they would be
Mhm.
able to do with the cans, that they would hold it a certain way, or they would, I think they
Yeah.
would actually burn the cap.
Right. So this way we'll
So it
make
would come out a
smaller
little
holes.
sharper, and
Right.
it
Yeah.
was crazy how they figured
Yeah.
out all this stuff. And to me, that's not only are you making art, but you created a new art.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And then
Because
that
you had
goes, and then that winds up creating something else. It
Right.
just keeps on
I
going.
know
And going.
sometimes to get the thin lines, I got to layer it too. Like they put
Right.
something and
right.
then
Yeah. And
something
then put on
next
top of it to go to yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
There's all
Yeah,
kinds
man.
of tricks.
Yep. And even too, you just tag your name. You
Yeah.
take the shoe polish bottles, and
Yeah.
they'll put the because it was the sponge top, and they would take that and tag their names real quick, or whatever. But that's it. That was the quick little bullshit, tags like that. But yeah, man. It's just so many different things as far as paint art is concerned. So many different expressions. You know what I mean? That you got to appreciate all of them.
Well, if you got to appreciate all of them, I mean, you like what you like. You know what I mean? If you happen to see something, you go, I think that looks like shit. I'm going to say it looks like shit. I'm not going to appreciate
Well, yeah.
it.
Well, no, I'm saying appreciate the time that they put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For whatever it was that they make and how they make anybody else feel. That's how I'm looking at it. I hear
Right.
what you're
And,
saying.
it's the eye of the beholder.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But either way, it could be both ways. It's
Yeah.
not ever going to always be.
There's stuff I'm looking. I'm like,
You know, we might see some.
No, it's so
I
good.
like it.
yeah. I know,
You
not
know?
like a that one, eh?
Saying?
No, so
But
nice.
that's the whole thing about it. We're all see it in a different perspective.
Yep.
We're looking at it from a different
True.
eye view. We can all hear the same thing, but we all hear something different. Or
Well,
we just see something, the same thing, but we see something different.
It's just that emotion that you feel, that you see in those paintings, in the song that you hear. That was a good way to put it, Lou. I'm digging
Thanks.
it. I'm digging that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now you make me want to go to the museum.
I haven't been to one in a while. I
haven't
would
been
love to
in a
go.
long time.
I'll
Yeah.
stand in the center of the room and I'll just look at all the pictures from there.
Yeah.
Just do that in each room. They have our pictures, and we'll not go anywhere near any pictures from Basic Experience. They might stop me at the door.
I love
walk
when
in.
they have like really weird exhibitions.
What?
When they have like really weird exhibitions
Right,
that
yeah.
are like they're art, but they're not what you think. Like they're not classic
Yeah.
art. There's I forget this one. It was the craziest one. It was this.
Is it
machine.
everything, or is it just?
It was
painting?
this machine that like swept up the oil and then it spat it back out and it swept it up and eventually the oil like was going to run out because it lubricated the motor for it. When
Yeah.
it swept it back and it it eventually is going to die. Like, so you're watching this machine that's just going to,
Oh, wow. Okay.
See?
it's really weird. But like that, I love that kind of shit. I love
Yeah,
when you
I
go
hear
and
you.
there's like
So
art
there's
in
meaning
motion
behind
type
that.
shit. I
Right.
love
Yeah.
that type of shit. That's my favorite type of art in motion.
Well,
Love
think about
that.
it. For
Yeah.
everybody who's seen
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Right. So when he goes and he gets to Beverly Hills and he walks into the art gallery to go find the girl he grew up with, his
Sven?
friend. Yeah, it was Balky. And that they're showing the art gallery that he was in. And the art was these people sitting, mannequins sitting at a huge ass
Yes.
dining room
I love
table, with
Sarge.
chains. Sarge,
Sarge.
yeah, Sarge. And it's like,
Fuck, no, I'm serious.
yeah, too much time for me. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? People find that to be
Like an
artwork.
express
Yeah.
woman is not.
I got you going in a Rolodex,
Yeah.
bro. I got you.
Yes.
Yeah,
We might look at it and go, that is the strangest
that was
shit
the
I see
craziest
sitting
shit ever. Like, who's
there.
paying?
But then
grand
go,
for
oh,
this
but
shit.
I see what he's trying to
Yeah,
say. Yeah.
and it's like,
What
yeah,
did
no,
you
what
do
are you
to
trying to
the
say?
movie hatch?
Yeah. We're all trapped. We're all being chained to this table, eating meat.
Right,
You know what I mean?
whatever it
That's a
means.
Tom one. There you go. But
Right, it's
even
a
that,
vegan one.
yeah, vegan one. So and again, it's what people will find to be interesting,
Yeah.
captivating.
Yeah.
A must have. For us is just we're gonna throw out all the mannequins and have a nifty new dining room table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For that particular piece. But for somebody else, it's like I gotta put this in the foyer, and it's gotta look as this and as that, and it's just gonna pull people in to want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to talk that much about it. Like, to me, that shit was just ugly. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. But again, there's so many different
Yeah.
forms of art. Visual art. Whether it's from painting to sculpture, cars. Look what they do to cars when they paint cars. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, they totally take them out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, crazy.
you get the
That's
guys
art,
who have
sure.
when they have the lowriders that do the pinstriping and stuff on
Yeah.
the hood of the lowriders. They're putting murals up. Tattoo artists, when they come up and like, yo, this is what I want to get as a tattoo, and they just like got your sleeve. You know what I mean? And
The only problem with like all the art on cars is so distracting. It's distracting. It's like, oh,
yeah, well,
there's no
yeah.
fucking
Hey, did
car.
you see that?
Yeah. Holy cow! Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And fine, fair enough. That's the kind of shit.
I mean,
yeah.
That's a me problem.
Yeah. I
You know.
didn't want to say that, but I'm glad you did. Thank you for sharing.
That's a you problem.
That's freaking hilarious, bro. But yeah, and but it's just, there were just so many forms of art, visual
Yeah, well,
art.
and many different things. It's not just painting, right? It's everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, that
you
just draws you to it, draws people to it.
You even
True,
see it on
true.
TikTok and social media. There are certain artists that are on it, people who are known to be on it, and they have these certain videos that they make. But that's even art too. They took our avenue.
Mhm. Yeah.
They saw it. One of the best arts in the world is comedy. Comedy is the best for the soul, and it's therapeutic, and you need it. I think that's a great art too. When you hear somebody's different interpretation, or they're saying something, and you're listening to them, and you're identifying them 100%, whether it's because you have children, or you grew up that way, or you had
Yeah.
that toy, or whatever it was, and you can identify immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's the truth, man. And again, it's that feeling. It pulls out those feelings. Need a tissue? But it's true. I think that's what makes the world go round.
we need
Not
more
so
of it
much,
then.
because you know what? When you go into an art museum and you're looking at things, and there's a bunch of you guys, a bunch of people, a bunch of us that are standing there and looking at the same painting, and you can see everybody's having a different thought, but everybody's there together. Sometimes it strikes up conversation. I don't know. Do I see this? Do you see that? Is it like this? Is it like that? What does it do for you? Same thing for music.
I haven't been to an art museum in years. I think, but I have. Yeah, or even better on shrooms.
See, no, then you never
You
leave.
should go to
You're hiding.
to the
No, see, I would get in trouble though. I
Lincoln
get
Center?
kicked, I
so you
get
got
kicked
the
out like
Museum of
Lou.
Natural History, right?
I said I'd get in trouble though. I'd get kicked out like Lou.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Planetarium.
Planetarium.
Oh, I love the planetarium. So
Yeah.
cool now. And they say it's even gotten better than it was when
Yeah.
we had it. Gotta
See?
go to that.
We went to the Met last year before. We were at the Met during the summertime. They had the outdoor bar thing up on top.
Oh, yeah?
And it was, because matter of fact, we went during the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And they had a whole thing on that up on the rooftop. Yeah, it was freaking great.
How was
bro.
it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, dude. I'm like, what? What? They had this big thing. It looked almost like an open arch room kind of thing. It was crazy. And they had all the different hip hop names and artists and stuff on there, and turntables and shit. And it was almost like concrete, like when you handprints and turntable prints and stuff like that in there, a little bit of color. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, all that's art
Yeah.
too, man.
Yeah, there was an Andy Warhol exhibit downstairs. I said that's where I saw the Pollocks too. They had a whole bunch of Pollocks. I think Van Gogh was another exhibit that they had there. Like, it was a big thing. It would look like they had like about 4 or 5 different
Really?
big exhibits while going on at the same time, and people
yeah,
going
yeah.
through all of them. It was great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked that.
Yeah,
Sure.
that would have been cool. So, but that is our time, my gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah. So,
As always, it's a pleasure.
yes, thank you all for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever the good stuff. Come back and follow us.
Yeah.
Yes. So, appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming here, watching us. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
Keep on enjoying those arts.
Holler.